Yo, what's up guys, it's King Sean here, and in today's video, I'll be going over free agent edge rushers that the Commanders could be targeting this offseason. But before we get into today's video, make sure y'all leave a like down below, subscribe if you're not already subbed up, and turn on notifications. And with that out of the way, let's get straight into today's video. Alright, first up, let's talk about Khalil Mack. He is 34 years old, well he's 33, but he'll be turning 34 in about a week, so he is going to be 34 by the time free agency rolls around. So obviously he is getting up there in age. There were kind of being questions asked after the season or after the Chargers season ended whether or not he would retire, but he's not going to retire. However, he's not going to be back with the Chargers in 2025. So if you were to sign Khalil Mack, obviously you would sign him to a one-year deal, maybe two, but most likely one, because he is 34. He's probably got like 2 more years of really good football left in him, and his statistics from the past season actually weren't that bad. Played in 16 out of 17 games. He had 9 pass deflections, which is really good, 2 forced fumbles. He had a fumble recovery. He had a total of 6 sacks, 49 pressures. He had 15 QB hits, 6 TFLs, so that's pretty solid right there. The season before, he had 17 sacks, which is kind of crazy. I mean, the fact that you're putting up 17 sacks in a season at your age. He was 32 last season, or not this past season, but in 2023, and he put up 17 sacks that year. So that's pretty impressive right there. So Khalil Mack, he can still get to the quarterback. He had a 90.4 overall PFF grade, ranked 5th out of 211 edge rushers, 79.9 pass rushing grade, so that's really good. And he's also really good at stopping the run and setting the edge. He had an 88.0 run defense grade per PFF. That ranked 2nd out of 211 qualifying edge rushers. So that's really good right there. We need a guy that is good at setting the edge, man. I mean, we just had no one to do it this past season. Dorrance Armstrong, he's cool. He just wasn't amazing at setting the edge. Dante Fowler, he was our best pass rusher last year. However, he just wasn't good at setting the edge at all. There's a reason why he only was playing like 30 to 40% of snaps each game. It's because he wasn't on the field during run stopping snaps, right? Or run stopping plays, right? So we have to get a guy that is able to not only get to the quarterback, but is also able to set the edge and stop the run. And I feel like Khalil Mack, he would be that guy for you. Now, obviously, 34, he's not going to be your permanent solution. However, if you can bring him in, draft an edge rusher, maybe in the 2nd or 3rd round, or maybe even in the 1st round if you want to. So get an edge rusher in the draft and sign Khalil Mack. That guy can learn behind Khalil Mack, and obviously that guy is going to get snaps as well. But since he's not going to be starting, he can just learn from Khalil Mack, and then after Khalil Mack leaves, after the 1 year he's with you, that guy you drafted can step into his role. So that's kind of my thought process when it comes to potentially signing a guy like Khalil Mack. You're only going to have him for 1 year, but he would definitely be a boost on our front. He would obviously provide some pass rush help. He could still get to the quarterback, and of course, he will be able to stop the run and set the edge, which we absolutely need to do. Now, when it comes to his market value, I have it at $10 to $15 million per year, maybe a little bit more than that, but a guy like Khalil Mack, who's 34 years old, isn't going to cost you too much. You would probably be able to get him at this price range. So if we are, I would definitely entertain signing him. And once again, he would be a boost to our front. Moving on, let's talk about Josh Sweat. He's probably the biggest name on the free agent edge market this offseason. He's 28 years old. Well, he's 27 right now, but he'll be turning 28 at the end of March. He was really good for the Eagles this past season, played in 16 out of 17 games, had 2 pass deflections, 8 sacks. He had a total of 54 pressures according to PFF, and he had a 75.7 overall grade according to PFF, 69.3 run defense grade, which is pretty good, and a 71.5 pass rush grade as well, which is also pretty solid. So he's put up pretty solid numbers throughout his Eagles career. He made the Pro Bowl back in 2021, where he put up 7.5 sacks, and in 2022 he put up 11 sacks. So overall, he's put up pretty solid production in Philly, and he's the hottest name on the market this offseason, in my opinion. Maybe Khalil Mack, but in my opinion, it's probably Josh Sweat, and because of that, he's going to get a bag. I have his market value set at $15 to $20 million. He may get more than that, but honestly, I feel like this is the right price range for him. He is a very solid edge rusher. However, he's not an elite edge rusher. He's not one of the best in the league, but he is a really good football player, a really good edge rusher, and he's going to get paid this offseason. So $15 to $20 million is probably the price range in which I would pay him. I'd probably give him maybe like $16 or $17 million. I feel like that's a very reasonable price for a guy like Josh Sweat. Had a pretty good PFF run defense grade, like I just said to you guys, 69.3. That's pretty good. And he would provide some pass rush help as well. So Josh Sweat, definitely a guy I would be interested in. Once again, he's the top guy on the market, so he's going to get a whole lot of interest from teams. I doubt the Eagles bring him back. Nolan Smith, he really stood out in the postseason, and he took a huge leap in the regular season, so I feel like they want to keep developing him. And Josh Sweat may be out of the price range, and Zach Bond and Milton Williams, two more defensive free agents. Those are two guys they may want to bring back, so they might just not have enough money to afford bringing back Josh Sweat. So I think Josh Sweat will become a free agent, and if he does, I would definitely target him. Next guy up I want to talk about is Azeez Ojulari, and he's a pretty interesting free agent prospect to look at. He's obviously been with the Giants over the past 4 seasons, or his first 4 seasons of his career, and durability has definitely stung him quite a bit. He played in every single game in 2021, which was his rookie season, but after that, he has not been able to stay fully healthy. In 2022, played in 7 games, 2023, 11 games, 2024, 11 games, right? So health has definitely been a major concern when it comes to Azeez Ojulari. It's definitely hindered him and his production, right? In 2022, though, he had 5.5 sacks while playing only 7 games. 2023, 2.5 sacks, playing only 11 games. In this past season, 6 sacks while playing only 11 games and starting in only 5 games. So that's not bad production there at all. Had 7 TFLs this past season, along with 10 QB hits. And in the 11 games he played this past season, he had a total of 22 pressures. So that's definitely not bad right there. And I feel like he's a guy you would bring in to have in your edge rusher rotation, right? He wouldn't be expensive. I have his market value at like $7 to $9 million a year. May get a little bit less than that, maybe like $6 million a year. Maybe he gets 10, but probably like 7 to 9 or $6 to $9 million a year, right? Because once again, durability has been a major concern with him. He's put up pretty solid production when he's healthy. However, because of injuries, it's hindered him a little bit, right? So we'll see how much Azeez Ojulari gets paid this offseason, but I would bring him in to have him in our edge rusher rotation. I think he can be really good in our edge rusher rotation. Maybe not as one of our starting edge rushers. Like, I would definitely, not sign Azeez Ojulari to be one of our starting edge rushers. I'd much rather go after a guy like Josh Sweat or Khalil Mack in free agency. Maybe trade for Myles Garrett, right? If the Browns actually do decide to trade him, because right now they're being a little reluctant or very reluctant to trade him, right? But we'll see what happens there. Or draft an edge rusher to be one of our starting edges, right? So I wouldn't ideally have Azeez Ojulari as one of my starting edge rushers. However, if you were to sign him to be a part of your edge rusher rotation, I definitely would not mind that at all. So Azeez Ojulari, he could be one of the guys we target this offseason in free agency at the edge position. So definitely a guy I will be looking out for this offseason. All right, now I want to go over the full list of free agent edge rushers. Already talked about Khalil Mack. Haason Reddick, he's very interesting. He didn't have a great season for the Jets this past season. He was actually pretty bad. But you also got to remember the contract dispute. He held out from the offseason training camp all the way to midseason. So he didn't get the opportunity to really practice with the team, to really get his body ready for the season because of how long he held out for, right? So if you think Haason Reddick can get back to his pre-2024 form, to that double-digit sack form, then you may kick the tires on him, right? So we'll see. But Haason Reddick, he is a guy that we may target this offseason. However, I'm not so sure that we will because of how he played this past season. DeMarcus Lawrence, he's 33 years old. I'm not very interested in him. He's good at stopping the run. However, he is 33, getting up there in age. How much good football does he have left in him? Not sure. And he suffered a season-ending injury this past season, so that might be a concern as well. So DeMarcus Lawrence, not very interested in him. Chase Young, I'm good. I know a lot of fans have been suggesting to bring him back. I'm good, bro. Like, I know he's still young, 26 years old, but I'm good. You know, he's good at setting the edge, good at stopping the run. However, he takes plays off. He is a pressure king, but he can never finish the quarterback off, like get sacks. So I'm good on Chase Young. I don't want him back, right? Preston Smith, I'm good on him. Matt Judon, I'm good on him. He's 33 years old, so I'm not very interested in him. Already talked about Josh Sweat. Charles Omenihu, he may be a guy you want to bring in as a guy to have in your edge rotation, but as a starting edge rusher, I'm good. Marcus Davenport, I'm good. Anthony Nelson, I'm good. Lorenzo Carter, I'm good. Brandon Graham, he's going to retire. Cleveland Farrell, anyone want Cleveland Farrell back? I'm good. He's good for the locker room, but as for play on the field, didn't really contribute a whole lot, so I'm good. Darrell Taylor, I'm good. Josh Uche, I'm good. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, he just hasn't been very productive with the Bucs, so I'm good on him. Jihad Ward, I'm good. We talked about Azeez Ojulari. Dante Fowler Jr., of course. We got to bring Dante Fowler Jr. back, in my opinion. He was amazing for us this past season. 10.5 sacks. Ain't great at stopping the run. However, as a 3-down edge rusher on passing downs, hey, man, I'm all here for it, right? So Dante Fowler Jr., he's a guy that you would love to keep, love to have in your edge rusher rotation. So he's a guy that I feel like we have to bring back, man. And how much will he cost? I don't think he'll cost too much. Came off of a double-digit sack season, so maybe he'll cost more than what you expected him to cost to re-sign. However, I still don't think he'll cost way too much, and he's a DQ guy, right? He follows DQ everywhere, to Dallas, to Atlanta, and now to Washington, right? So I feel like if we want him back, and I feel like he won't cost a lot, then I think we will bring him back. So Dante Fowler Jr., definitely interested in bringing him back. And that's really about it for this free agent edge rusher class. Let's see if there's any other names. Dayo Odeyingbo, edge rusher from the Colts. He could be a nice guy to have in your rotation, but not a really good starting edge rusher. Joseph Osai, LJ Collier. So just a bunch of names that aren't really intriguing to me, right? So this isn't a very strong free agent edge rusher class. However, there definitely are some names that you should be interested in, like Khalil Mack. Obviously, I talked about Josh Sweat, Dante Fowler Jr. bringing him back, and Azeez Ojulari. So definitely are some names that I am interested in. So that is it for today's video. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Comment down below what edge rusher free agents would you be interested in bringing in. And other than that, it's been King Sean, and I'm out. Peace.